Hey guys, it's Chloe and we're back with another Married at First Sight Season 10 Episode 7 review. Let me just tell y'all something first real quick, y'all. So, I had a comment and this comment inspired me, okay? It inspired me to do a comment read. And I'm going to do a comment read, I guess, a couple of days after I do the reviews on the comments, because y'all be going in them comments and I'll be like, yes, I understand, I get it. Oh, I didn't think of it that way. So yes, we're going to do an episode on the comment section. So don't forget to subscribe. So this way, when your comment is read, you will be the first one to be right there for it, okay? Anyways, let's get into this review. And I must say, I'm pleasantly surprised with this review because I enjoyed this episode. And I know you guys will probably be like, oh, well, the other episodes had like a little bit more drama or a little bit more, spice. But this episode really, it did it for me, you guys. It did it for me. All right, so let's get into this review. And it's move-in day, you guys. It's move-in day. Right after the honeymoon. How new is that? Usually they go to each other's houses first and they pack up and they see how each other live and then they move into together. But this time, they move in first. They switching it up on us. But that's cool. So we find out that Austin and Jessica moving together. Katie and Derek moving together. Even Mika and Michael moving together. And I'm ecstatic about that because I'm here for it, okay? Yes, you guys, make it work. Commit to each other. Go through with the process. See what the experts saw in you guys to pair you guys together. And I'm like, yes, go ahead. So now that we know that they moved in together, let's just talk about Mindy and Zach. Now, Mindy says, well, I'm not even going to say what Mindy says. We just see Mindy moving in by herself. And Mindy is saying that when they got to the airport, Zach decided that he wasn't ready to move in with her. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like, you was willing to marry somebody at first sight, but you don't want to move in with them after you guys been on a honeymoon and are officially married. You're not ready. Like, it doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. Like, I need this to make sense because it's not making sense. Anyway, but she's committed to this process, so she moves in by herself. And she's hoping that Zach commits to this process as well and one day moves in with her. Mindy, let it go. When he said he wasn't ready to move in, that was basically him saying, I don't want this relationship. So let it go, sis. Let it go. He don't want you. He don't want to be here. And if he don't want to be here, you can't make him. So, like, y'all, Zach just work on my nerve. But then we also find out that Brandon doesn't move into the apartment with Taylor. And when Taylor's talking to Pastor Cal, she explains, like, his whole misfit that he had in the last episode and how he was telling everybody F them and F you and F you and all this craziness, and that when he got onto the actual bus with them, he didn't want to sit next to her. He was like, I don't want to sit next to her. Don't sit me next to her. Nope, it's not going to happen. And I'm just like, what is up with him? Like, all of this over some cameras? Like, it's a bit much. It's a bit much. And, like, she's like, I'm over it. Like, I don't understand. Like, I can't be with someone like this. And while Taylor and Pastor Cal are having this conversation, in walks Brandon. And not only does he walk in, he walks in with a bouquet of flowers. Because what other way would you walk in with flowers when you feel like, yeah, he felt like it. So he decided he was going to bring flowers and try to make it better. And he walks in like everything's okay. And Pastor Cal and Tara are like, hi. And so he sits down and he wants to, say he's sorry. And he apologizes for, what he, the way he handled the situation and how he acted. Now, Pastor Cal wants to talk to Brandon alone because Pastor Cal's like, no, I need to talk to him by myself because I need to figure out where his head is. Like, what is the problem? And Brandon tells Pastor Cal that he feels like production was trying to play him because all he wanted was a few minutes to himself to get himself together, and he didn't appreciate the fact that they wouldn't give it to him. And then he also took that frustration out on Taylor because Taylor didn't have his back. Because instead of Taylor babying him like the baby, like the princess, like the diva he is, she told him, I do not like this man that I'm seeing. I don't want to be married to this person, And he couldn't misfit it. He wants to throw his ring and he wants to say, I don't want to be married. I don't want to do all of this. And he's like, I know, I messed up. I'm sorry. Like, I want to make this work. That's why I'm here. I'm committed to this process. And Pastor Cal is like, well, you need to do better than what you're doing. Like, you knew that these cameras was going to be here for this process. So, get over it. In other words, that's basically what he told him. So now Taylor comes back in and they're all sitting there and they're trying to figure out, how do we move on from this situation? How do we move past this? And Taylor's saying, I can't do this if you're going to continue to be disrespectful, not only to me, but to production. Because now it's like you're just being a total donkey. A total donkey. You get it. Yeah, you get it. So I'm like, okay, so why are we relying on this? He's a grown man. Now, as a grown man, you need to learn how to control your emotions, control how you're feeling, and to go and have this whole misfit and curse people out and act like a child because you feel like you're being played is unacceptable. And I'm sorry, for me, I would have needed a little bit more than some flowers and an apology. But this is Married at First Sight, and we don't have that much time, so we have to move past this as quick as possible. And they pretty much come to the agreement that he's going to be a better him. And they hold hands and they repeat the vows that Pastor Cal says have them repeat, and how he's going to commit to this relationship, and he's going to be a better husband for Taylor, and he's going to be a better Brandon as well. And I'm like, I would love to see a better Brandon, because the Brandon we saw last episode is not the Brandon we want to continue to see. Even though I think deep down inside, we're going to see more of this from Brandon. I wouldn't be surprised if we do. So, yeah. So now we go over to Mindy, and Mindy is having wine with her friend, and she's explaining to her how, on a honeymoon, Zach kept saying he's not attracted to her. And her friend is like, you deserve better than this. And she's like, well, I'm willing to, if he comes back to, try to make this work. And she's trying to figure out, he doesn't deserve a second chance. What makes him, why do you want to give him a second chance? He does not want to be here. He's not committed to this. Let it go. But Mindy is desperate. And she's willing to do this process by herself. And she's willing to be married at first sight by herself. And hope and pray that one day, maybe one day, Zach will come around. No. I don't see it happening. There's no way I can see this happening. When he decided not to move in, it was like, sis, it's not happening. Let it go. But not Mindy. She's committed to this process. And I'm like, commit, girl. Commit. So, yeah. So, we go over to Derek and Katie. And, Katie is going through Derek's stuff in his room, and Derek has a drawer, and in this drawer is a gun. And a couple 20s. And Katie's like, who did I marry? Like, what are you into? Who are you? And Derek's like, oh, the gun's not real. I just use it, for protection, because maybe one day, like, if somebody breaks in, I have my gun, they might shoot me. No, he didn't say they might shoot him, but I'm thinking, like, you pull out a gun, and if somebody breaks in your house, they may have a gun, and they might shoot you because you pulled out the gun. I don't know. The logic makes sense to me. But to him, the fake gun is his protection. I don't know how a fake gun is going to protect you, but good for you, Derek. Protect yourself. Now, Mika goes to see Michael's apartment. And when Mika goes in to see Michael's apartment, the first thing Mika sees is a garbage can when she walks through. And being Mika, she has to address it. She has to call it out. Like, why is there a garbage can right here? I don't understand why there's a garbage can right here. And doing what Mika does best, complain. Complain about everything. Complain about the sheets. Complain about the cabinets not having the pots and pans in them because they're on the counter, because she's a problem solver. And obviously the pans being on the stove is a problem because they can be in the cabinet. I'm like, this girl is a piece of work. She's a piece of work, but we're all different in our own way. In our own way, we're all different. So now Pastor Kyle wants to go talk to Mika and Michael. And he wants to go talk to them and see, like, where are they? Like, where space are they in after the honeymoon? And they're both explaining, like, what went wrong in the beginning of their relationship and how they were viewing this as a totally different process than what it really was, and overanalyzing, and how it was a little bit overwhelming. So they kind of, like, started off on the wrong foot, and how they're committed to making this work. So he asked them about having kids, and Mika says, yes, I do. We do want to have kids, maybe in 2 years, and I want to have like maybe 2 or 3. And Michael says he wants to have at least maybe 2 kids and adopt one because he's adopted. And then they go into the process, the discussion of how him being adopted, does Mika know about it, and how does she feel about it? And she's completely like I know about it, I accept it, I'm here for him, and I understand it. Like, if we want to adopt if he wants to adopt a child, I'm all for adoption. And I think that's cute. I think, like, finally we're getting somewhere with them connecting personally. Like, it's not like just a whole bunch of negativity around them. Like, they're finally getting to know each other, and they talk about their finances and how Michael makes a lot of money, and he makes more money, I should say, than Mika. And Mika feels good about that because she's tired of being a breadwinner. She's tired of, like, providing and pulling. She finally feels like, yes, I have someone who's, able to, carry us financially. Not saying that she's like, oh, you gonna do everything, but she feels good to be able to not have to worry about providing 100%. And Michael looks like he wants to, like, pat himself in the back for it. And I'm like, well, go ahead, Michael, make it work. So they have questions, and they go back to this conversation about what was the question for him to say that if they don't have sex in this honeymoon, that they won't be together. And he tries to explain that it wasn't that, he didn't say that. They were discussing what the expectation was. And that's the question, you guys. The question was, what are the expectations? And I think that Michael was probably saying, like, he wants intimacy. Now, he's trying to explain intimacy because he's adopted, that, he wants to feel loved, and he wants to feel cuddled, and he wants to feel, that safe environment amongst his spouse. And Mika's like, no, that's not what you said. You said if we don't have sex in this honeymoon, we're not going to continue this marriage. And she just wants him to admit that. And he's like, that's not what I said. I said that I want intimacy, and you took intimacy as sex. So at this point, we do get a clear understanding. It's a loss in translation. Okay? I have a feeling that Michael probably didn't really mean it in that way. But then again, I mean, he may have. He may have, because I don't get how you really, take that whole phrase and mix it up. But we're going to let it pass. We moving past this, okay? This is episode 6. We are not going to go back to episode 2, 3, 4, and 5. Wait, no, this is episode 7. So no, we're not going to go back to 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 about this damn conversation that they had that no one witnessed, okay? We're just going to let it go at this point. So overall, them two are in a good place, and Michael starts crying because he feels like he failed the marriage. And I felt for Michael because I know it can be hard for someone who comes from his background to want stability and want intimacy and want love. And then you get Mika, who is so straightforward. Everything is it's this. And he breaks down and he feels like he failed her because he doesn't feel like he's meeting her expectations of what a husband should be. And she literally she embraces it. She's like, I feel totally vulnerable to the fact that he's vulnerable towards me at this point. And I thought they had a breakthrough. It was finally they have a breakthrough. These two strong-willed, hard-headed people are finally bringing down these walls and able to connect with each other. And this is what we've been wanting to see. And Pastor Cal is yes, I finally got through to you guys to look at the bigger picture of why you guys are paired together. And it's not always about what you think your spouse should be. You have to be there with each other and connect and build and grow. And I think they are finally getting to that point where they're connecting and building and growing. So I am finally happy with Michael and Mika, and just watching them even with Mika complaining about his living situation, everything. I'm just finally happy to see them grow. It took us 7 episodes to get here. It took me a whole rant in my last review to finally get here. So I was happy. Right. So we get so Pastor Cal is gonna go talk to Mindy. And Pastor Cal is going to go talk to Zach. Now, Pastor Cal goes and talks to Mindy, and he wants to figure out, what's going on with Mindy and, what headspace she is in. And she's just he doesn't find me attractive. I don't understand it. I don't get it. And Pastor Cal is kind of confused because he's trying to say, when they made when they did the questionnaire and they talked to him about what he finds attractive, he said that intelligence and strong and all these things that Mindy has. So on paper he should be attracted to her. So if he's not attracted to her, is this really about her person or is this about her looks at this point? Because she is everything you say you consider attractive. So why are you struggling with it? Pastor Cal then goes and talks to Zach, and Zach does what Zach does, talk in circles. And Zach is trying to explain to him now it's not so much of attraction, it's chemistry. They have no chemistry. I'll tell you, Zach find it one way or another, okay? He finds a way to get away from what he needs, what he's trying to get at. Pastor Cal is I need clarity. I need you to explain because y'all, Pastor Cal needs clarity. We all need clarity from Zach. What are you trying to say? And he's still saying nothing. So now Mindy comes in and they are talking together, and Pastor Cal is basically saying okay, do you want to proceed with this, this marriage? Do you want to proceed? And he's just like, you know, she's everything. Like her friends like her. Her family likes her. And I'm like, duh, her friends like her. Duh, her family like her. This isn't about what other people feel about her. This is how you feel about her. And he's just like, something's missing. What is it, Zach? What is it? Just say it. You do not think she's pretty. You say you think she's pretty, but we know that you don't think she's pretty. And Pastor Cal says, like, are you going to move in? And he's like, I'm really not ready to move in. Like, I feel like after a week of being with this person, I want to know if I missed them. And I'm like, after being with this person for a week, you want to see if you missed them? After a week, you want to see if you, like, want the urge to, like, text them after a week? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't understand. And Pastor Cal's like, you do know there are 2 rooms, right? Like 2 beds. And he's like, yeah, but, and I'm like, here we go with this whole talk in the circle situation that Zach does, because you don't want to be in this relationship. You're doing this for all the wrong reasons. And you can tell that Pastor Cal knows he's doing this for the wrong reasons. And he's aggravated by the simple fact that he just won't be honest with it. And he says he wants to work on this, but he wants to do it his way. And his way of working on this is not moving in right now. It's lost. Like, their relationship, to me, has no hope. It's a lost cause. So now Pastor Kyle goes and meet with Austin and Jessica. And Austin and Jessica are very happy. And, you know, the love is in the air. It's clear it's in the air. And they talk about their finances, and Jessica makes more than Austin, and she's fine with that, because, like, right now he's just starting his career, and, you know, he'll be where he needs to be in a couple of years, and that's perfectly fine with her, and that's perfectly fine with, you know, their dynamic of relationship. And I think that's great. Like, you have to start from somewhere. You're not going to start off making, you know, a bunch of money in your career field. You have to start from the bottom and build your way up. And that's what, you know, he's doing. And she encouraged that, because, you know, like, you got to start from somewhere. And they're good. And they want to have kids in maybe 2 to 3 years. And Jessica then proceeds to, like, make fun of Austin and, like, mock him a little bit about how I just want Jessica to like me. And Austin, you know, Austin is very sensitive. And he's just like, with his little fake laugh or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, he's not feeling it, but we just gonna let it rock for today. We gonna let it rock. But I keep telling y'all, Jessica better stop playing with Austin, because Austin won't let her have it sooner or later, because she always got some side to say about Austin. But yeah, overall, they're cute together, and I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. And now Pastor Kyle wants to go meet with Katie and Derek, and they want to talk about, you know, like, where are you guys at? And they seem to be in a good place. And he asked them, do they want to have kids? And they say, well, if we don't have kids accidentally in the next 2 years, then I guess in the 3rd year we'll have to start trying. And Pastor Kyle's like, what do you mean accidentally? And she's like, well, you know how sex works. Like, if we don't have kids in the next 2 years, then I guess we'll have to actually start trying to have kids. And Pastor Kyle's like, okay, cool. He asked her, like, so how do you feel about moving in with each other? And they make a comment about Derek saying that Katie feels like his roommate. And that's very concerning to Katie, because she's like, no, I'm not your roommate. I'm definitely your wife. Please stop referring to me as your roommate. But Derek is kind of like on the fence, because he's never been in love. He doesn't know what love feels like. He doesn't know if he's in love, and he wants to, you know, one day fall in love, but he think love should take about 6 months to a year to fall in love in. And Pastor Kyle's like, that's not how love works. You don't, like, you know, put a time limit on how long it should take for you to, you know, grow in love with someone. But that's very concerning for Katie, and I can understand why. Like, why are you saying you can't love me right now because it's only been, a couple of weeks? When, you saying, oh, after 6 months, then maybe I can attempt to love you. And they get into the conversation about Katie and her ex, and is Katie completely over her ex? And Katie breaks down about the simple fact that she's finally been waiting for this guy that she was dealing with to express his love for her, because she loves him wholeheartedly, and now he's saying he loves her, and she's a little overwhelmed with it because, when you love someone so much and you feel like they are not giving you that in return, and you attempt to move on, and then they come back and they saying all the right stuff and they telling you how they love you and how they feel for you, you kind of like get back in that space like, why you just couldn't do that when we were together? And I think she's struggling with the fact that she still is attracted to him, because when they ask, are you attracted, she say yes. And Pastor Cal asks, did you cut all ties with him? And she's like, yeah, I did. And he's like, did you emotionally cut those ties? And she's like, I'm trying to, disconnect myself. And now, Derek is a little on the fence because he's like, I thought, we were past the ex situation. Like, I came in this 100%, and I feel like you're straddling the fence a little bit for yeah, basically that's what he was trying to get across. Like, she's like she doesn't have both feet in. She has like one foot in, and then like she's testing the water with the other foot to see if she really wants to jump completely into the water. That's how I interpreted that conversation. And at that point, I can understand Derek not wanting to fall in love, because like, you can potentially get hurt by this girl because she obviously may be still in love with this other guy. Yeah, it got a little heavy towards the end. And now like they cut to all the couples, getting ready to call it a night, and Mika and Michael are talking, and they're discussing what they need from each other to move forward in their marriage. And I'm loving the communication between them. Derek and Katie then talk about how they plan on she doesn't communicate with the ex at all. And like Derek said, well, I trust you, and then if you're really being honest, then we can move forward. And we see some progress. We see some real dimension to these relationships, and how they're gonna try to move past some of the issues that they're dealing with, outside of like Mindy and Zach, because I don't think Zach's gonna try to do anything, but we'll have to see next episode and future episodes where this goes. But overall, this episode really gave me some good vibes about the couples. It made me have some hope for them, because we are now past like the petty stuff, and we're really getting to real issues that people deal with on a daily basis. And it's not so like, on the surface. Like, we're getting deep inside. We're learning about these people individually, and like their upbringing and their struggles and how they feeling. And I think it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. I smiled a lot through it. I wasn't aggravated. I wasn't bored like I was. And I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe I just love that much that I saw so much of it like possibly evolving, that I was thrilled with this episode. And I'm looking forward to see what's next. Yeah. So that was Married at First Sight, Season 10, Episode 7. And I'll see you guys back with another review next week. Let me know how you guys felt about this episode. Did you enjoy it like I did, or am I just a sucker for love? Or did you guys want more drama? Did y'all not get enough drama like we've been having the last couple of episodes? I don't know. Don't forget, blow the comment section up, because I am going to do a comment video for you guys. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Don't forget, thumbs up, you guys. Share. See you again next week. Have a nice night, day, evening, morning, whatever. Peace.